Hey intellectuals, in this video we'll be understanding what are the theories of intellectual property. It's a very brief introduction video. So we'll be knowing what are the theories we are going to deal in the further videos, and a very brief introduction is what I am going to give today. So basically in this series we'll be dealing with 6 theories. The first theory is natural rights theory, then utilitarian theory, labor theory, personality theory, social planning theory, Schumpeterian theory. So these are the 6 theories we'll be dealing in this series in detail. But in this video, I'll be giving a very short introduction, a very brief introduction about each of these theories. Okay, now let's get into the theory part. We'll be understanding these theories very briefly under 3 headings: core principle, emphasis, and impact. Okay, first natural rights theory. So this natural right theory is proposed by John Locke. The core principle of this natural right theory is it's stating that the individual will have inherent right to own and control the products of their intellectual labor. So this creator, that particular individual, has used his human intellect. His creativity is used. That is the intellectual labor. So just like physical property, this should also be treated. This intellectual property should also be treated, and the particular individual, that is the creator, should be given inherent rights. Okay, so what emphasize this theory is creating? It is stating that the originality and effort invested in creation is justifying the exclusive rights for creators. So because of this theory, what emphasis is created? What importance is created here? Exclusive rights is given for the creators. Okay, so while studying in the introduction part itself, while I'm explaining the need for understanding the theories itself, I've told you that only if we understand these theories, we can achieve certain ideas, we can achieve certain needs, or we can change something in the IP laws. So what impact will this theory create? It will be creating a strong IP protection. It will encourage innovation and rewarding creators. We'll be understanding these things in very detail in the upcoming slides. For each and every theory, I'll be uploading a separate video. But just make sure that you understand a broad concept of what is natural right theory. Utilitarian theory. This is propounded by Jeremy Bentham. So the core principle of this theory is it should serve the greater good by incentivizing innovation and knowledge sharing. Okay, so we have to give incentives for the innovation. Only then these research and development, these innovations will be promoted. Okay, that should be also given importance, and the knowledge sharing concept should also be given equal importance, and it should also be multiplied. Okay, so already in the introduction video itself, I told you we have to have a striking balance between the private right and the public right. This IP right is completely a private right, but it should not be at the stake of exploiting the public right also. So any innovation it is created in this world should be beneficial for the society. So this is what this utilitarian theory is trying to stress upon. Only if it is for the society, only if it is helping the society, it is actually a useful innovation. Otherwise, just think of something that is of no use. Who needs that innovation? Obviously, we won't just give a nod to that innovation, isn't it? So, if a particular innovation is there, it should be beneficial for the society. So, we have to maintain a striking balance between the right of the creator and the person going to use, that is the society. Okay, so we all know about this fair use policy, this compulsory licensing. All these things are the impact of this utilitarian theory. Anyway, we'll be understanding all these concepts in very much detail in my upcoming series. So this is just an introduction about utilitarian theory. Just understand utilitarian theory is propounded by Jeremy Bentham. And what else? It is saying that there should be a striking balance between the private right and public right. That is, the individual should also be rewarded and the society should also be benefited. Okay. Now comes the labor theory. This labor theory and the natural rights theory is more or less similar only. It is also propounded by John Locke, and the natural right theory is also propounded by John Locke. So this labor theory is stating that the creator deserves exclusive right because he has used his intellectual labor and that is adding value to the society. So the creator should be given exclusive right, and it is focusing on the efforts and resources invested in creative process. It is completely focusing on the effort and resources invested in creative process. And what is the impact of this labor theory is fair compensation for creators. Okay, and it will create definite informed discussions about minimum reward period or royalty structures. So all these concepts will be dealt because of this labor theory. Okay, only because of this labor theory, what we are justifying about the fair compensation and the minimum reward, the royalty period, all these things are discovered or discussed and will be expanded in the near future because of this labor theory. It is propounded by John Locke. It is more or less similar with the natural right theory. Personality theory. Immanuel Kant and Georg Hegel are the propounders of this theory. Okay, so this theory's core principle is nothing but intellectual creations are an extension of the creator's personality and identity. Thus, it has to be protected. So, the intellectual creations are the extension of a particular creator's personality and his identity. So, that particular identity has to be preserved. That particular identity deserves protection. So, that is called personality theory. That is the core principle of personality theory. Okay, so what is the emphasis? What this theory is trying to emphasize is, it's trying to create a link by protecting the individual dignity and self-expression. Okay, the individual's dignity and the self-expression is to be protected, has to be protected. Okay, this is what this personality theory is trying to conclude. What impact will this create in the IP field? Ethical concerns. Already I told you about these ethical concerns and the need for understanding the theories of intellectual property itself. Hope you could recollect. Okay, so this is what this personality theory is trying to stress. That is ethical concerns. The traditional knowledge and the cultural rights, all these has to be preserved. Okay, this has to be preserved. It is a very important concept. This traditional knowledge concept is a very important concept in IP protection, IP law. We'll be dealing it much elaborately in the upcoming series. So this is what personality theory very briefly. Okay, personality theory, the core principle is that the intellectual creations are the extension of the creator's personality. Thus, it has to be protected. Okay, in one line you can summarize this personality theory like this. Social planning theory. The core principle of the social planning theory is, it is stating that the IP rights to be tailored. It has to be tailored in a way that the particular IP right should achieve social and economic goals. Beyond the individual creator rewards, this particular IP creation must achieve something socially. Some economic goals should be there. Okay, so this is the core principle of the social planning theory. It is trying to emphasize that there should be some flexibility in applying the IP frameworks. When we are addressing the concepts like public health, environment or developmental needs, there must be some flexibility. Again, this is creating a striking balance between the public right and the private right. So it is stating that this particular IP creation must show a greater impact. Okay, there should be a greater impact in what? In the society. So what is the impact of the social planning theory? It will create an informed debate about getting access to the essential medicines, traditional knowledge protection, and again it will help in balancing the IP with international developmental goals. So these are the impact created by the social planning theory. Okay, this also we will be dealing it in a separate video about the social planning theory. We will be having a separate video, but just now understand what is social planning theory. Schumpeterian theory. This theory is propounded by Schumpeter, and the core principle of this theory is driving long-term economic growth through temporary monopolies. We have to have long-term economic growth, achieve long-term economic growth through temporary monopolies. It is trying to emphasize that there should be a dynamic efficiency. Not just the creator has to be rewarded, but there should be a healthy competition. That competition should fuel the progress after the monopoly expires. Okay, at a particular point, by achieving a temporary monopoly, at a particular point the monopoly will be dissolved. So even after the monopoly has died, a healthy competition should be there. So this is what this theory is trying to emphasize. So what will be the impact of this Schumpeterian theory is the duration and competition, even the technological advancements, all these things will be addressed if we study this Schumpeterian theory. Okay, so hope you understood about this Schumpeterian theory as well. Let's jump to the conclusion part. So all these theories, I am going to conclude it under 3 headings: justifying protection, shaping policies, and adapting to change. The natural rights theory, the utilitarian theory, the social planning theory, all these theory will be coming under the justifying protection. Okay, so these theory is emphasizing the justification for protection. And regarding the shaping policies, labor theory, personality theory will be discussed. And in case of adapting to change, social planning theory and Schumpeter theory will be there. Okay, so under these 3 headings we can entirely conclude this video. This is what the very basic idea about the theories of intellectual property. However, in the upcoming slides we'll be discussing in detail about all these theories. So please do hit the follow button and follow us for more interesting IP law videos.